brothers and sisters who have gathered here this evening. I thank you all for the happy presence you have given me. This is the first time for me to have the happiness of meeting the German people, expressing my feelings to the German public. One of my life mottos is spiritual fusion of East and West, and I take today as very important because I make my spiritual contact with the German nationality today. I am expected to speak about homeopathy and Ayurveda this evening, and here also I feel something significant. Two nations, one from East and one from West, that is India and Germany, have produced the greatest contribution to humanity, that is Ayurveda and homeopathy. I belong to the country which has produced Ayurveda. I now stand before a nation which has produced homeopathy to mankind. No doubt, homeopathy is the present required medicinal system which is really scientific. Though the whole globe is colored like rainbow with the influence of allopathy. Great advancement has taken place in allopathy also during the past few decades. But the fact remains that the technology of medicine has improved and the science of medicine deny this fact that the values of health have been computerized, and health is understood in terms of analysis and not at all in terms of synthesis. This deterioration has taken place due to allopathy during the past few decades, and the result is mankind is suffering from the evils of overdrinking, and the average human being lives doctor addicted and medicine addicted. Many people cannot imagine a life without a doctor, and many people have not the courage to live in a village where there is no doctor. The science of health has deteriorated into the science of medicine. The science of health has deteriorated into the science of health has deteriorated into the science of medicine. Medicine. Medical science is misunderstood as science of health. Now, a knowledge of disease is understood as a knowledge of health. Before all these changes took place, there was the advent of great light to the medical world. That is Samuel Frederick Hahnemann, a very pious and noble soul. And according to me personally, the light of the Lord coming down to earth once again to lay the law. He is the founder of the sacred system of homeopathy, which is still followed by only a fraction of mankind. For the simple reason, the scientific evolution of the present humanity has not reached the stage of understanding and utilizing Hahnemann. The present evolution of the scientific sense is still in a very primitive stage of inviting wars and not peace. With all our achievements, we the moderns cannot boast that we have advanced, because We are not able to stop war on an international level or groupism in a political local level. With such an evolution of the average human mental state, we have not yet the stature enough to utilize the scientific achievements given by nature. That is the reason why homeopathy is properly utilized only by a minority of the human beings of this earth. I will try to put before you the basic principles of homeopathy and Ayurveda in a simple and non-technical way, so that I may not tax the mind of the audience. Now we go into a detail of homeopathy. First of all, let us try to understand how we look at the human being. We are taught in the schools and medical schools a science called anatomy, by which we can understand every part of our body and every tissue of our body. And then we are taught also a subject called the histology of human being, which makes us understand the biochemistry of every tissue in us. When we tabulate the chemicals that are available in the human constitution, we have a standard which is called the healthy standard. If so much of calcium is there in bones, so much percentage of phosphorus is there, so much percentage of iron is there in blood. Like that, if we tabulate, if we find the natural percentage of the chemicals, we understand it as health. If there is a distortion in the chemical formula of the tissues by the formation of tissues that are not required, or some chemical substances that are not common in our body, the tabulation gives us a clinical understanding of the constitution. It shows a disturbance in the normal chemistry of the constitution, and then the doctor understands that there is a disease in the body. And if the heart is not properly functioning, the doctor makes an examination of all the functions of the heart and detects a heart disease. If the liver is not properly functioning, he makes an examination of the liver and detects a liver disease. This is how health and disease are understood according to allopathy. There is the microbe and the virus also, but we will try to understand them a little bit later. Now, when there is a disturbance in any tissues, it is understood as disease, and the disturbance is set right by medicinal substances when the health is supposed to have set right. This is the process that is taking place in allopathy since many generations. Not changed till today, but what changed in allopathy and what advancement has taken in allopathy is the instruments have been advanced and the forms of medicine have been made more attractive. The pills are made of more technicolor, beautifully like rainbow, and the labels and the cartons are produced in very, very beautiful shapes of body. Electronics has been used to detect disease. The X-ray, the ultraviolet rays and the infrared rays are being used. And another point is specialization of the parts of the body. It has brought many, many evils upon mankind. A doctor is concerned only with your eyes and not yourself. Another doctor is concerned only with your ears. Like that, each doctor has divided a part of the kingdom of your body and made his own. He deals with the part of your body and not yourself. There is no worse blow upon the scientific understanding of health and man. Excuse me if I am a bit harsh and rude about my remarks. But there are no satisfactory answers to what I have questioned. You can ask me in what way homeopathy is really scientific. In what way it is greater than allopathy. It is not greater than allopathy, it is better than allopathy. Because it is not our greatness that decides the medicine. The greatness of the doctor has nothing to do with the security of life. It is the goodness and the kindness and the love of the doctor that is required, and not the greatness or achievement or the glory of the doctor. What the patient wants is relief and cure, and not at all a technically difficult understanding of his disease. The patient is never proud of his disease. He wants a relief from his disease. What homeopathy teaches us is that we have two different types of bodies. The one is the structural body and the other is the functional body. The structural body is what we call the anatomy of the body. It is also called material body or physical body, which includes the weight of your body and the volume of your body. And there is another body which is making the parts move and work. That is called the functional body or the body of forces. The body of matter is galvanized and moved by the body of forces. The body of matter is galvanized and made to move by the body of forces. And when the force is working, then the matter will move. Just as when electricity is flowing through the wires, the fan can work, the light can give you light, and the microphone will give you the amplification. Just as we have the wire and the insulation for electricity, there is our physical body, but the physical body is not at all, just as this wire is not at all electricity. Electricity is a force, whereas the wire is matter. A material wire is required for the electricity to flow through the wire. A physical body is required for the vital body to function inside. And when the vital body is properly functioning, the physical body does its functions normally. The muscles and the nerves function properly. The muscles and the nerves of the lungs also work properly, and respiration takes place normally. The muscles and the nerves of the heart also work properly, and the circulation is conducted properly by the heart. Similarly, the muscles and nerves of every part of your body work properly, and the function of every part is normally conducted when the vital body is distributing the vital force properly to all the parts. This is what is called health. Whenever there is a disturbance in the vital body, there will be a disturbance in the functions of the physical body also. And the physical body feels the discomfort immediately. Then we call it disease. Health and disease belong to the vital body and not to the physical body. When health is disturbed, it is disturbed in the vital body and not the physical body. So every disease is essentially a disturbance of the vital body and not at all the physical body. It is not a disturbance of the matter of the physical body. It is the disturbance of the forces that are being distributed inside. So the causes of health or ill health exist in the vital body, and the results of health or disease are manifested on the physical body. If we locate a disease on the physical body and try to find the causes in the physical tissue and try to rectify the physical tissues physically, it is a wrong and unscientific process, and we can never succeed. Suppose when the flow of the electric current is faulty, when there is a flickering in the lights, what is the good of replacing the bulb with a new bulb? Similarly, if we locate a disease like constipation in the stomach and try to cure it with purgatives, we can never succeed. Whenever we take a purgative, we will have a free motion forced. But from the next day, the constipation continues. Because we have tackled only the physical body and not the causes. Though we have given a medicine to remove the material in the belly, what we have done is only scavenging and not medicine. What the plumber does. We have done the work of drainage and not treatment. Same is the result whenever we treat the physical body with physical medicine. And there is a third body also in us, which is called the mental body or the mind. So there are three levels of existence in our constitution: matter, force and consciousness. Matter is what we call material body. Force is what we call the vital body. Mind is what we call the mental body. It thinks, it looks, it hears, it tastes, and it directs the forces to make the physical body move. The mind is like a driver of a chariot. The vital body is like the horse. The physical body is like the chariot. So, when the mind directs the force makes the parts of the body work. This is what is called health. But if the process is reversed, the force in us is conditioned by the matter in our body, and the mind is conditioned by force and matter. Then we will be a prisoner in the body and not at all an owner of the body and not at all a master of the body. No part of the body is obedient to us. The mind is also not obedient. If we ask it not to think in the nights, it goes on thinking so that we may not sleep at all in the nights. Everything is disobedience in the constitution, and the whole government is under revolution. That is what is called disease. This is the understanding of health and disease according to whom. So it is not the difference in the chemistry of the tissues that decides, but it is the difference in the functions of the body and the behavior of the mind that decides health or disease. This is the first proposition of homeopathy. The corollary is that diseases have their origin only in the mind. They have never their origin in the physical body at all. And when there is the origin of disease in the mind, the result is a peculiarity in our behavior, and we begin to misbehave with our food and drink, with our sleep and sex, with our rest and work. This is the real disease and the cause of all diseases. Unless we have a disease in the mind, we have no business to misbehave with anything in our constitution. Then a continuous misbehavior produces a distorted functioning of the forces in the body, and then a continuous distortion of the forces produces a disturbance in the chemicals of the tissues. And when such a condition is overlooked for more than 10 years, the result is a diseased condition on one of the physical organs. When the effect is on the heart, the allopath calls it heart disease and sends you to the apartment of the cardiologist. When the disturbance is in the liver, he will send you to the liver specialist. If the disturbance is in the kidneys and bladder, you will be sent to the urologist. Like this, the allopath understands each a separate disease, but the disease starts in the mind. Unless it is cured, the distortion can never be cured, and medicines cause only temporary palliation, and it creates a constant necessity to go to the doctor and use the medicine. So it is rather the disease of the doctor that is cured and not the patient. This is the first part of homeopathic understanding. we will understand the second proposition of Samuel Hahnemann. When we are having high temperature, the allopath applies ice to the physical body or gives a cold bath and brings the temperature 1 or 2 degrees lower. And when the feet and hands are too cold, he applies heat and brings the temperature up. This is considered to be part of the treatment in allopathy. In very emergency cases, such a thing may be necessary, but it is highly unscientific and should not be done under ordinary circumstances. When it is winter, if you touch a metallic article, when you apply some heat, it is warm once again. In countries like India and Africa, when it is summer, metallic articles are hot. If you apply ice block, it will be cold. Similarly, when there is temperature, your body will be hot.